By the time this TWAB is published, a few changes to Crucible matchmaking will be live. Matchmaking based on players' skill has been removed from all playlists except Elimination, Survival, and Survival Freelance. Trials of Osiris will continue to be match-made based on the number of wins on your passage. We're doing this to respond to community feedback, shorten queue times for players, improve connection quality of matches, provide more places where the outcome of a match isn't as important as enjoying the experience, playing into the strengths of the Crucible being a bombastic, frenetic action game. The pursuit of glory points in Survival and attempting to go flawless in Trials of Osiris will allow those playlists to reinforce that the outcome of matches are important and keep the stakes high. We want the rest of the Crucible to be a less high-stakes environment, where players can have a more relaxed experience and just enjoy the Destiny multiplayer sandbox. We will continue to monitor feedback and game data around these changes. If we decide to make any further adjustments, we'll let you know.
Your enemy can't kill if they're dead.
You know, I'm just not really noticing the difference.
Zone B, Captain. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. Zone C lost. One after another.
What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again, once again, and today, people, today! Good God Almighty! Is this season really trying to make me a true believer? If it wasn't blatantly clear from the intro gag, today we're talking about the removal of skill-based matchmaking from PvP. Well, most of PvP. Now, have you ever seen or read something so self-evidently good, so correct, so right, so righteous, so just, that it didn't need explaining why it was just so fucking good? Why it's so amazing, and why its amazingness should be apparent to anyone with even mildly tepid functionality above the medulla.
Joker! You just want a pub stomp. You don't care about anyone but yourself.
Oh, dear Lord God, no, why? I miss the days of Halo 3. Okay, so we're really doing this. This is actually an argument that people are making. Fine, fair enough. I did just have an opening gag where it was nothing but me shoulder charging people, so I can understand how, for somebody new to this channel, might see me abusing bad kids and think, well, man, he's just pub stomping. He only likes it because he can pub stomp. Not realizing that in all actuality, that's what most of my gameplay looks like, and I'm just abusing shoulder charge. Hell, I think I even recorded that gameplay a day or two before the changes happened. So, there is that. So, like any reasonable conversation on the internet, we should start by finding some common ground. Let me go ahead and make my stance on skill-based matchmaking clear. I'm not one of those people that hates skill-based matchmaking out of hand, and thinks that it should be removed from every game, ever, until the heat death of the sun. There is a place for everything. Halo 3 will always be my primary example of matchmaking systems done right. Halo 3 in its prime had a suite of ranked playlist and a suite of social playlist, and largely, they were basically the same playlist. Halo Reach and Halo 5 actually take this one step further and allow you to individually set the parameters for how you want to be match-made. If you want quick, connection-based match-made games, then that's your choice. If you want slower, skill-based match-made games that might even be laggier, then you can make the personal choice to select that. If I had it my way, the default of all Destiny matchmaking outside of Ranked and Trials of Osiris would be connection-based matchmaking, as it is now. And then there would be a little settings gear in the corner that allowed you to change your matchmaking preferences. So if you want skill-based matchmaking and you're willing to wait the matchmaking times to find a game and possibly deal with lag, well, that's a choice that you can make. But skill-based matchmaking should not be the default, and it shouldn't be forced on people outside of ranked play. So now that we have that extraordinarily reasonable but will still be controversial opinion out of the way, let's talk about the realities of Destiny 2 relying solely on skill-based matchmaking for 90% of its PvP, and why that was a bad thing. Now, I find the idea that we need to protect 99.9% of the population from the top 0.01% of the population, and in doing so, we need to punish some of the most dedicated players in the game to be ludicrous. And just mathematically, if you take the top 1%, or even top 20% of all the players in PvP, and you cast them into the general population, the odds of you running into a god tier player is actually astronomically low.
But Joker!
I hear your shrill, tremulous voice cry out in anger.
The second skill-based matchmaking was removed from Destiny, I started to get my ass cheeks clapped.
1, there are people who pay good money for that kind of clapping, so there is that. 2, I hate to be real, I hate to be honest, I hate to tread on you in your time of sorrow and shame, but you're not getting your cheeks clapped by the top 1%. There's simply not enough of them in the game. What is happening, however, is you're starting to play people with opposable thumbs. Sorry, not sorry. And here's some more things that people aren't ready to hear. There's a huge difference between getting your ass kicked and not enjoying the game, and not enjoying the game because of lag, because of bad connections, because of error codes, because of long-ass load times. At the end of the day, a bad player, if they really want to play the game, they can just get better. But not even the best player in the world can beat long load times, or lag, or error codes. All of that's technical issues. And just to get into this a little bit further, according to Steam charts, at the time of writing this, in the last 30 days, there have been a total of 213,681 players. However, the average player count is 55,785.1. And that's the number we'll work with. Now, we already know that the bulk of the player population plays PvE, but we have to figure out what percentage that is. According to Destiny Tracker, yesterday, at the time of writing this review, there was roughly 458,700 Crucible players, and 619,600 PvE players, and that's across to all platforms. So roughly 35% more people played PvE than PvP yesterday. And since I'm writing this video on a Saturday, that's probably a pretty high number. Given it's the weekend, we have trials, but we also have a new DLC. And obviously the removal of skill-based matchmaking was just announced, so people are gonna come back and check that out. So those numbers are probably higher than normal, all things considered, but I think it's fair because those are best case scenario numbers for this time of year. I think we all kind of understand that generally speaking, the Destiny population is a lot lower than that, but hey, details, I'm digressing. So 35% of 55,785 is a mere 19,524. Remember, the 55,785 comes from our Steam numbers. So, 19,524 players is currently the best case scenario at any given point in time for the number of people in PvP on PC. Now, with connection-based matchmaking, you have the entirety of that population to be matched against, at least as long as you have a good connection to them. But what does the top 1% of 19,524 look like? Any guesses? Anyone? 195 people. Worldwide, at any given time, in the top 1%, playing Destiny in any 7 of the playlist. Meaning, on average, there could be as few as 27 people in the top 1% in each playlist worldwide. So now you have between 197 to 27 of the most dedicated players worldwide hindered by lag, error codes, and long wait times, playing at the highest level of play. Also what? John and Jane No Thumbs are protected from playing a real game of Crucible? Now, of course, using the bottom 1% or the top 1% is always going to be an extreme argument. What we're realistically looking at is the top 20% and the bottom 20%. But the same calculation applies. The top 20% now get lag-free stable games against 80% of the population, and the lower 20% of the population, well, all they have to do is gasp, shock, horror, get slightly better.
But Joker, why can't the top 20% just get good instead?
First, that's hypocritical. Second, like I said, there's no getting good against lag and wait times and error codes. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Now, if all of that wasn't controversial enough and sure to get me downvoted, I'm gonna put together a string of letters that form words that convey information that people aren't ready to hear. So recently I started playing Final Fantasy XIV with a really cool dude, Nathan Insane. And by play with, I just kind of mean we play at our own times and then BS back and forth on Twitter about it. And just through sheer osmosis of us playing it and talking about it, I started to notice that our followers were picking up the game and playing it as well, to play with us and engage in the conversations with us. I also noticed this happened with my first impressions video with Season of Arrivals. I enjoyed the story, and I was super enthusiastic about the parts that I liked, but also honest about the parts that I didn't like. And lo and behold, because I liked it, people commented how they're gonna reinstall Destiny and pick it back up. Now, I'm a reasonably small channel, but my opinion still carries weight with people. Now take somebody who has 100k subs, or 200k subs, or 500k subs, or 1 million subs, 2 million subs. Take that person, and they no longer enjoy Destiny because they can't enjoy playing PvP. Because it's a laggy, sweaty, error code, long wait time filled mess. They're gonna leave the game and they're gonna take a substantial amount of their viewers with them. We've seen it happen before. And when there's no eyes on the game, when you don't have content creators playing it, hyping it, promoting it, talking about it, then the player population dies. I'm not saying anything that should surprise anyone. When streamers and content creators don't like playing a game, and they decide to go play Call of Duty or Final Fantasy XIV, where does the eyes of their audience go as well? The brutal reality is, the more eyes that are on a game, the more that the people covering it enjoy it, the better it does. That's just a fact. So the question ultimately comes down to, what'll support Destiny 2 better in the long run? The people who are promoting the game, not enjoying it, not playing it, moving on because of lag, because of error codes, because they simply can't relax, or hell, can't find a game, or Johnny 0.50 KD at the bottom of the 1% not having their safe space anymore. But hey, those are just my controversial opinions. Let me know yours in the comments below. Remember to like the video, but only if you did. Subscribe for more and hit that bell notification. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you are feeling particularly generous, but above all else, stay frosty.